You know, in the NFL, it's a wild world where just winning, even winning a lot, sometimes isn't enough. For almost a decade, the Buffalo Bills have been one of the league's top teams, but a single painful playoff loss just kicked off one of the biggest moves in their entire history. All right, let's get right into this massive coaching shakeup. And it all started right here, not with a spreadsheet or a stat line, but with a single look. The team owner, Terry Pegula, literally said it was seeing the absolute devastation on his superstar quarterback's face that sealed the deal. You can just feel that this wasn't just a business decision anymore, it was personal. And that one look, well, it led to this. Just let that sink in for a second. 9 seasons, 8 trips to the playoffs. Sean McDermott built a winner in Buffalo from the ground up. And after all that, he was fired. It is such a brutal reminder that in this league, there's only one goal that truly matters. So how did we get here? Let's unpack the decision that really sent shockwaves across the league and look at what happened right after that season ended. The final straw was that playoff game against the Broncos. Another year, another promising season cut short. For the people in charge in Buffalo, this loss was it. It was the moment they decided a change at the very top was the only way they were ever going to get over that hump. But here's the twist in the story. As the Bills were closing the door on one coach, they kind of realized the next guy was already in the building. The seeds for this massive change, they were actually planted months before, with a move that totally lit a fire under the whole team. And really, this is the question that defines everything. Back in 2023, the offense was sputtering, so they made a change. They handed the keys to their quarterback's coach, a young guy named Joe Brady. So what happened next? Well, the numbers, they kind of speak for themselves. And what they say is pretty clear. Total dominance. From the second Brady took over, the Bills had the best record in the entire NFL. They were number 2 in scoring and number 1 in EPA per play, which is basically how you measure offensive efficiency. I mean, they weren't just winning games. They were statistically the smartest and one of the most explosive offenses in the game, period. And this shows you just how incredible that turnaround was. I mean, look at this. Under Brady, the offense just shattered franchise records. Josh Allen finally got his first MVP. Their running back, James Cook, won a rushing title. This wasn't just a lucky streak, folks. It was a complete and total transformation. Okay, so with McDermott out, the Bills officially started looking for a new coach. But they weren't just looking for some play-calling wizard. Nope. They were looking for something bigger. Their general manager, Beane, he laid it out perfectly. He said he wanted a CEO. Think about that. Not just a coach, but someone who could manage the whole operation, who could lead the team when things got tough. The feeling was that the leadership part, not the strategy, was what was missing. And to find this CEO, they put together a pretty powerful group. You had the GM, the owner, but here's the key. They put their superstar quarterback, Josh Allen, on the committee. When you give your franchise player a seat at that table, you're sending a pretty clear message about whose opinion matters most. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. For all the talk about finding a big picture CEO, look at who they actually brought in for interviews. 7 of the 9 guys were offensive coaches. So what does that tell you? It tells you that even though they were talking about leadership, they were laser focused on one thing, getting the absolute most out of Josh Allen. So as the search went on, you kind of got the feeling that all roads were leading back to one guy. The search for a brand new leader, well, it led them right back to the man who had already won over the most important guy in the locker room. I mean, just look at this climb. It's meteoric. Joe Brady goes from quarterback's coach to interim OC to full-time OC and now head coach, all in just a couple of years. It just shows you how quickly he earned the trust of, well, everyone. And this is why. This quote from Josh Allen says it all. He's not talking about plays. He's talking about juice, energy, being positive, being real. He's not just describing a good coordinator, he's describing a leader. He's describing the exact CEO they were looking for. And really, that's what this all boils down to. The connection, that bond between the franchise quarterback and the offensive genius, that became the new foundation for the entire franchise. The whole search was really about finding the perfect partner for Josh Allen. Turns out, he was already there. So the decision is made, and now the Buffalo Bills are officially in a new era, betting everything on the dynamic duo of Allen and Brady. And here are the nuts and bolts of it all. Joe Brady, who's only 36 years old, gets a 5-year deal to lead this team. And crucially, he's going to keep calling the plays on offense, making sure that magic that started their big run keeps on going. So that brings us to the big billion-dollar question, right? The Bills have made their bet. They're gambling that an offensive mastermind with an unbreakable bond with his MVP quarterback is the final piece they need. They've gone all in on offense. So now we just have to wait and see. Will it be enough to finally bring a Super Bowl to Buffalo?